Hey everybody, it's Remix, and welcome to something a little bit different today. If you saw a couple days ago, I posted a new intro that I made here in After Effects, and I decided to just go through and sort of like do a little walkthrough of it. I'm hoping this will... I'm not really doing this to like as a tutorial or something. I'm more doing this so I can maybe learn more from going through and explaining everything, because before making this intro, the only knowledge I had of After Effects was just adding audio spectrums to stuff, and that's basically what all of my intros have been before this one. So this was a big step forward for me, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. This is the first time I've ever like done stuff like keyframes or motion and shapes and everything, because it's just been all audio spectrums up to this point, because I thought they were cool, and I still use it in this one, but I also use a lot of other stuff. So I'm gonna just try to go through here and explain stuff. If you guys have never used After Effects before, I'll try to explain as much as I can and make it entertaining, even though it might just sound like I'm talking a bunch of like rubbish. I don't know. But those of you who have used After Effects before, maybe you'll learn something. I don't know. Maybe you already know how to do this. Maybe you could have done this entire thing in 20 minutes. Who knows? But I'm more doing this so I can sort of learn more myself, I guess. So yeah, first thing, I'm going to go through each of the layers here and sort of explain what's going on in each of them. First off, obviously, Raider's new song, Tremble, with Yoe Mase. It's an awesome song. You guys should go download it. It's a free download unless you want to support him on his Bandcamp download, which I very much recommend because he doesn't get much money from his music, so it's really cool if you're able to support him in any way. But yeah, so that's the song. I just cut out part of the song to use in this. I think it's towards the end of the song. No, I don't think. I know for a fact it's at the end of the song. But then we have the background here. So we have a lot of stuff going on in the background. First thing you'll notice is the ramp effect, or it's just the gradient going on. So you see the top of the screen starts this lighter red, and then it goes toward the darker red. And it's a radial ramp, not a linear ramp. Oh, I forgot to mention, in the video I uploaded a couple days ago, this intro, there is going to be a couple things different because I did go through and sort of fine-tune some things. So if you look in the old one, it's a linear ramp. It's just like, you know, dark to light. But in this one, it's actually like a circle, so it just looks a little nicer. So that's cool. Let's see what else we can go here. The Snowfall. So this part is a part that I wasn't originally planning on adding to the intro, but it ended up being really cool because in my other intro, in the one previous to this one, I had just like Snowfall going on in the background, but in this one, I wanted to sort of sync the speed to it to the audio. So if you look here, let me do this because it'll make it not so huge. There we go. So this is stuff we've edited in here. If you press U, you can see the stuff that you've added keyframes to. So if you see speed right here, every time the bass hits in the song, I added keyframes to make the Snowfall go faster. So you see, if we look at this first one here, it starts off at 500. That's the default speed. You see 500 right here. That's the default speed. And then this keyframe right here, the second one, it bounces up to 2000. And then it'll go back down to 500 right here. So you see once it goes across this red line right here, and these little keyframe things, you see it goes faster right there. And that basically goes on with a lot of stuff in this. You see the remix logo is bouncing. I'll explain that once we get to that. But yeah, so the Snowfall is doing that throughout the entire intro. So boom, 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 boom. So it's doing that throughout the whole thing. And then audio spectrum, that doesn't come up until about right... Where is it? There it is. So you see these keyframes right here. We have the thickness and the maximum height going on. I don't know why... Oh, never mind. Yeah, so we have the thickness and the maximum height going on. So audio spectrum 2 is the white you see, I'm pretty sure. Let me see. No, audio spectrum 2 is the drop shadow. Excuse me. Audio spectrum 2 is the one behind it, so it's like the shadow of it. Audio spectrum is the one that you see, the white one you see there. So you see it starts off, if we look at maximum height, it starts off at 1, so it's basically, because you can't set it to 0, so that's basically nothing. But I have the thickness set to 0, so it's invisible until it gets to this point. And you see as it goes there, it starts off really thin, and it starts off like sort of low, so it's kind of like turned off, and then the thickness gets more, and then the maximum height gets more. If you watch the maximum height right here, you can see it starts off at 1, and then it slowly goes up to 500 once it gets to the second keyframe. Then it stays there the whole time, and then the same thing happens at the end right here. So you see the same thing happens, it gets thinner, and it sort of goes away. And then we got the fancy stuff with the circles going on, which I'll explain later. So if we got a remix border here, let's just press U on it to see the stuff that we've edited. So let's go back to the beginning here. So at the very beginning here, if I click on this, you'll be able to see the animation lines or whatever. I'm pretty sure there's like special names for all this stuff, but I really don't know. I was just like going through tutorials, figuring out how to do stuff while I was making this. This was meant to just be a practice intro, but it ended up turning out nice, and I thought I would finish it up, and I think I like it. It looks cool. So you see position here. Position is simply where it is on the, I don't know what to call this, the square, the rectangle that has your preview, the preview window. Yes, that makes sense. So you see right here, it starts off at negative, you're looking at Y here because that's up and down. It starts off at negative 191. So it starts off at 0 up here. 0 is the top of the screen right here, and then the bottom is obviously 1080, since we're at 1920 by 1080. So when you go negative 191, it goes up because 0 is this line right here, so when it goes negative 191, it goes up. So it starts off the screen, so it's not the X, it's the Y. Negative 191. Negative 960 is simply the center of 1920. So then you see it bounces down here. So it comes down and it goes to 603, right? That's not the center because we have that go past it a little bit. So 603 is past the center a little bit, and then it bounces back to the center right here. So if you look right here, it goes to 960 and it goes back to 544, which is the center of 1080, I think. No, 540 is the center of 1080. I should change that. Should I change it? No, because in the render preview we messed up. I'll change that later. But yeah, so it goes past the middle there, right there. It sort of bounces down, it gives it a cool little effect. And then we got some other stuff starting. So you see rotation here. Y rotation, this is a 3D object. If you look right here, this little cube, that means it's a 3D object. So you can move it through, or you can transform, you can rotate it on all 3 axes basically. So you see right here at this keyframe here, it starts off at 0, the rotation. And then by the time it gets to this one here, you see the second one, then it goes to 1 revolution, which is basically 360 degrees. So you see, it starts off right there, turns, it's turned. And then we got the bumping that was the same thing with the snowflakes, basically. Whenever you see these keyframes right here, whenever the bass in the music hits, I had it transform out, or scale out. So the scale is 35% right here. By the time it gets there, it's about 40, I think I have it set at. Let me check. Yeah, 40. So it goes up to 40, then it goes back down to where it is, and then every time the music hits, it goes boom, boom, because it's cool. And then right here, in the position, same sort of thing. We have it just going down once the last bump starts. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Remix Border. If we go through on these ones, these are all sort of partnered with each other if we open all these up. So it just looks like a bunch of crap, but a lot of them are just copied from each other with a couple of settings changed. So you see a lot of stuff happening right here. Not really. Some of you might be like, that's like 3 circles, man. Come on, get good in After Effects, dude. But you see right here, it starts off, there's 3 circles. This is one of the differences from the version of it I uploaded a couple days ago. There were only 2 of these, and they weren't as smooth, and I also didn't have the logo spinning like this. So you see all these keyframes right here. That's how everything starts out. So everything's at 0, basically. All the scale for everything is at 0. You see, if you look at size or scale anywhere, that's all 0 because, you know, it's not on the screen. So everything pops up right here. So we have the R3 logo. We'll start with that. You see rotation right here. These ones right here. So this one starts off at 0, and then it's the same thing like the remix logo at the beginning. That was rotating on the Y-axis. This is rotating on the Z-axis. So it's not a 3D object. It's just rotating like no, that's clockwise, I think. Right? I think so. And then the scale of it sort of comes out and pops, so it gets big and then gets a little smaller. And then we have the same thing going on with the pumps with the song. So boom, 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 boom. Yeah. And then these 3 ellipse bursts right here. That's basically those little lines you see like out like that. Those 3 lines right there. So what's happening with those is they get bigger and they get thinner as it goes on. So that's what all these keyframes are right here. So the top ones, or what's this one right here? Oh, that's the spectrum. Spectrum background is the blackness you see, or the darkness you see there. That's the circle that is inside the audio spectrum. So that's just scale that's going up. That's not rotating or anything. But everything you see down here, the top ones are all size, and the bottom ones, you know, in between them, those are all the thickness of it, the thickness of the line. So you see they start off big and then they end up disappearing. So these actually aren't fading out. It's just the stroke that's getting smaller. And then the motion blur kind of makes it look like it's sort of fading away. Oh, speaking of motion blur, I have motion blur turned on for basically everything here. It's just this little icon you see right here. And then you have to have this switched on for it to actually work. I didn't know that at first because like I have motion blur turned on. Why isn't it doing anything? So yeah, that's happening there. And then at the end here, pretty much everything pops back out and then goes back in. So we got more bunch of keyframes. I had to add. Whoa, what did I just do? I had to add a bunch right here for the spectrum background, the black part, because it kept like going bigger or smaller than the. I think I could have done something like parent it to the line right there, but I wasn't sure how to do that, so I just kind of did this. So yeah, I think that's actually everything. Let me think. I am going to be redoing my outro soon. It's going to be the same exact layout, but I'm going to be switching it to this style here. So it's going to be pretty much the same thing. It's going to have that red background. It's going to have the flakes maybe going along to the music, because I have 3 different outros that I use, and I don't know if I want to make 3 separate ones. I might just have the snow falling without anything, but I might go over the top. I'm not sure. So wow, that was a really quick 10-11 minutes there. That was crazy. If you guys are still watching, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully you learned a little bit. Maybe you laughed a little bit at my lack of skill if you could have done this in 10 or 20 minutes. But I'm learning. I had a lot of fun doing this. This is the first time I'd ever done anything more than what I was used to. So it was really fun, and I ended up learning a lot. And yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed. More videos coming soon. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.